Today we're looking at the Aputure Amaran HR672S LED spotlight. The Amaran HR672 is available in three variants: the 672S spotlight, which we're looking at today, the 672W wide beam floodlight, which is also a daylight balanced light, and the 672C, which is a color temperature adjustable version. I'll leave links to all three versions below, so feel free to check it out. As with its less powerful cousin, the AL528, the first thing you'll notice is how compact this light is. The light measures about 9.5 inches by 7.5 inches by 1.5 inches. While this is slightly bigger than the AL528, it's still extremely compact, especially for a light of this intensity. The body is made from a hard gray plastic with cooling vents on all its edges and on the rear face. The front face, as its name suggests, has an array of 672 LEDs that throw a narrow 25-degree beam of light. Aputure provides two separate slide-in diffuser panels with this kit, one that maintains the daylight color temperature and another warmer one that gives the light more of a tungsten-like glow. The HR672 mounts to light stands and tripods using a 1/4-20 female thread on the bottom edge. Aputure also provides a light stand adapter with the kit. This is very useful as it allows you to tilt and rotate the light to exactly the position you want. There are two more 1/4-20 threads on the left and right edge, and these are for mounting bolt-on accessories. More about that in a minute. The most versatile thing about the Aputure Amaran HR672 is that it can be powered by two different power sources, either the provided AC adapter, which plugs into this power port, or using two Sony-style lithium-ion batteries. Two batteries are provided in the base kit and spares are readily available. I'll leave links to the batteries that'll work with this light in the description below. Having the option of using batteries makes it extremely portable and easy to lug around if you're shooting outdoors or in places where you just can't plug in. The AC power adapter is a 110-220 volt supply, so it'll work anywhere in the world. And when the unit has batteries mounted and it's plugged into a wall outlet, the batteries will actually charge. I'm not very thrilled about the connector on the AC adapter. It's the exact same DC connector that we found on the less powerful AL528. It's a little flimsy and very easy to break. I would have preferred they used a standard laptop style DC connector. You want to be gentle with it when you plug it in. When you power the light on, the LCD on the back lights up and displays the percentage of lighting intensity. Turning the knob on the back adjusts the light between 10% and 99%. There's also a battery charge indicator on the same screen. And when you're plugged into AC power, the battery indicator displays a full charge. It's also important to remember that the light won't work on just a single battery. You need both batteries locked in for the light to work on just battery power. An extremely cool feature of the HR672 is the provided 2.4 GHz remote. Now the remote is available on all three versions of the light and allows you to control up to 12 individual lights or even 12 sets of lights with the same remote. Set the channel and group number using the buttons on the rear face, and the light now responds only when you press the corresponding buttons on the remote. For example, I've set both my lights to channel 2A. Now I toggle the remote to channel 2 and press the A power button. Both lights turn on. I can also control the intensity using the plus and minus button next to the A button. This comes in very handy for more professional shoots where you have a multi-light setup and want to adjust each light individually. It also lets the videographer sort of stand back and see the effect of adjusting or turning on and turning off a light. Really cool feature. Now to test the Amaran HR672S, I'm going to set the subject up on the table and light it with two of these at about a 45-degree angle around 2 feet from the subject. And what I'm going to do is put the camera into manual exposure and set it up first to find the best exposure with both lights at 100%. Then I'm going to turn both lights off and let you see how the subject looks with just ambient lighting. Now I'm going to turn on the light on the left first and slowly crank up its intensity until we hit the 99% mark. This should give you an idea of how the light's spot beam characteristics work. Now let's slowly turn on and crank up the light on the right until we hit 99%. Pay attention to the shadows around the object. This is one of the minor issues I find with both this light and its smaller cousin, the AL528. The diffusion panel that they provide doesn't really provide enough diffusion. I really recommend investing in the EasyBox softbox from Aputure. This is a bolt-on softbox that really does quite a bit to soften the shadows, as you can see in this shot. Now you will lose a bit of light intensity due to the softbox, but that can be corrected in camera by adjusting exposure settings by about one stop. If you're wondering how the light produced by the 672S is different from its sibling, the 672 672W, here's a simple beam test on a plain wall. You have the S version on the right and the W on the left. As you can see, the W has a much wider beam diffusion, while the S has a narrower beam with more intensity concentrated at the center. The color is also pretty accurate on these lights, and you shouldn't have any issues matching it up with other daylight balance lights. It's also a whole lot more accurate than cheaper LED light panels, and I've never seen the 672 flicker even once. It's very stable and reliable, and flickering is a huge issue with cheaper LED panels. Aputure also provides a handy carrying case which fits the 672, its batteries, power cables, and even the softbox. My overall thoughts about the HR672: I really think this is a very impressive product that's well worth its price. It's compact, works reliably, and produces a very respectable amount of light. Significantly more light than its cousin, the AL528. It's also really portable since you have the option of being able to run it on batteries, and it's even better that the batteries are included with the base kit, and the added convenience of a remote really adds a lot of value to this light, especially on a more sophisticated shoot. If you've tried the AL528 and found that it doesn't provide enough light, then the 672 series is the best choice out there. Definitely a product I recommend for anyone looking for a compact, reliable LED light. I've put links to all three versions of this light in the description below, so feel free to check them out. If you own one of these, tell us about your experience with these lights in the comments below. Hope this review was useful. If it was, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks for watching.